Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining. Here again with some Canadian Collegiate League. We are in the placements right now, and this is a match that was rescheduled from that default day of Wednesday, which means that I get to cover some more Canadian Collegiate League. It is going to be SFU Capybaras versus University of Toronto JV, and this is an exciting matchup. University of Toronto JV, of course, did participate in the last season of CCL back in the fall semester, so excited to have them here once again. They had a really great showing last semester, so high hopes for this team as we head into the winter semester. And SFU Capybaras are new to CCL at least this year, so definitely excited to see what this team can bring to the fields. Let's take a look at our teams. We'll start out here with SFU Capybaras. So we have Soy Sauce and Tomo on the DPS. Cell is going to be our tank, Lake, and Blurp on the support. I'm looking at the lobby, and we actually do have a little bit of swap. It is going to be Dokdo, not a Soy Sauce, in on that DPS role. So excited to see what this team can bring. SFU Simon Fraser University does have two teams competing in CCL this semester, so they also have the Raccoons. Really fun team names, really enjoying that. University of Toronto, let's take a look over at them. We have a Chobo and Banana Boy on those DPS roles. Caprixel the tank here. I believe it's Wu Shang on the support. We do have a streamer name in the lobby, so Emranane is going to be on support, and then Dart as well on that support role. Yeah, so we have everybody in the lobby right now. We are, of course, going to be having map bans here in CCL. So that's really fun about the Canadian Collegiate League, is that the map pool is all of the maps that are available in the competitive pool. So currently Antarctic Peninsula is not available, but otherwise everything is on the field here. And because of that, we're able to have map bans. So it was a coin flip to find out which team was going to get to ban out the control map, as we are starting on control as usual. And the map ban that came out was Ilios. So that, of course, leaves everything else in the pool for us to work with. And that map ban of Ilios did come out from the side of University of Toronto that won that coin flip. Sorry, no, the coin flip, no, getting this backwards. Ban comes out because they lost the coin flip, and then the pick goes over to the Capybaras, and the Capybaras have opted to take us over to Oasis for our map number 1 control map. Now we are just waiting on the hero bans to come in as well, so that will be standard kind of hero bans as usual. One ban from each team. University of Toronto do get to start with that ban. And it looks like they already know who they want to ban out. It is going to be that Vendetta, so no Vendetta here on our Oasis map here, control map number 1, and it's kind of funny actually having W's in chat from the side of SFU. You either love her or you hate her right now. Vendetta is such a good hero in this meta right now, so aggressive and able to really follow up on kills so well. So if you are looking to run a Vendetta of your own, having a Vendetta ban come out here, you are definitely not going to be unhappy about that. So we are just going to wait and see what SFU is going to opt to ban in response here. CCL rules, I do believe that they are not able to ban out a DPS, so we're going to see either a support or a tank come out. Yes, yeah, absolutely. So, no DPS ban here for the side of SFU. I think that I did mention, Vendetta very strong, obviously, right now in the meta, so taking her out is going to shift compositions a little bit, but you can still plug in kind of any of those other kind of high damage, decent mobility heroes in if you want to play that style. I'm thinking the Reaper, I'm thinking the Venture as well. And then having the opportunity to ban out either a tank or a support is going to just kind of further narrow down the compositions that you really can play. And it looks like we are going to have a tank ban come out from the side of SFU. Going to take that Diva out of play here. kind of indicating to me that we might be seeing more of these kind of hit scan, kind of long range heroes. That D.Va, of course, is able to eat up a whole lot of damage. So, I mean, if you're planning to run a sim Mei, you're probably not too concerned about a D.Va. But I think especially here where we're going to be on Oasis, there's lots of map control for the high ground on some of these sub-maps. I'm thinking City Center, you know, University a little bit, and then Gardens as well. So having that D.Va out of the mix here, if you're gonna play dive, you're gonna have to play over onto that Winston or the Wrecking Ball, or we could potentially be seeing some more of those just kind of forcing brawl compositions. Zarya still definitely on the table here for options to play, even if you don't have that Vendetta in, which of course is pairing very nicely with the Zarya right now. You can, again, just slot in one of these other DPS heroes, and you can still have really high impact rush composition. Big fan of the many Chikaritas in the background. Thank you. I am, yeah, big Chikorita fan. No, you're not going to be able to see it. We love Chikorita in this household. Yes, thank you so much. All right, we're getting readies from the team here. Oh, I will also, I know it's in the title, but I do have to stream with a 180-second delay. So if I'm delayed responding to you in chat, that is why. Yes, so we will be streaming with the delay, but you're still going to get all of the action. Super excited. And we are ready to head into things here, as it is, like I said, Oasis map number 1. This is going to be a best of 5, so that does mean it's going to be the first to 3 map wins here. All right, let's head on in. We are going to be starting out on the City Center here. All right. City Center, SFU Capybaras is going to be on the left here in the blue. UTES over on the red team. So, City Center, this is one of those maps where the high ground control is very, very important here. Let's see what these teams are looking to potentially run out on here. Now, Cell did have Doomfist as his favorite favorite tank here, so I definitely could see us with the Doomfist here on City Center. You're gonna be able to get that high ground control. Gonna have to pair really nicely with Flex DPS, so whatever Doke swaps over onto, I'm expecting we're not gonna have the Symmetra here, but if you have something a little bit more mobile, I'm thinking the Tracer, I'm thinking the Genji, that's gonna pair really nicely with this Doomfist. It's gonna be over onto the Tracer. On the side of UTES, it is gonna be the Winston coming out, getting control of the high ground early here, but Banana Point not quite up there on the Cassidy. Emrame is going to start out that kill onto the Sojourn, not allowing Capybaras to get set up, following up with that kill onto Lake, and that is pretty much just going to be fight over pretty darn quickly here over the side of Capybaras, as it is going to be UTS getting first control of the point just as it unlocks. A little bit of pressure actually on the point here. We do have Dokdo kind of hanging around back here on this Tracer. Tobo very aware of it. Right now, if you're Dokdo, you really just want to try and survive, wait for your team to get back into things so that you can get maybe a pinch as you come in, but look at this aggression coming out from Toronto. They know that the Tracer is not on the front lane, not set up to try and get this pinch. A little bit of pressure on the side, but yeah, it does end up getting punished for it, and now you are down that Tracer. You're going to have a really hard time kind of following up on these kills, whether it's going to be that railgun that comes out from Tomo or the dive in, the punch from Cell. Capybaras are still sticking in this point. Oh, Everyman is going to end up falling from that disruptor shot, but Lake immediately gets traded out. Trades coming out from both sides here, but that is, of course, going to favor the team that's in control of the point, which right now is Toronto. Great shot there from Dart. Headshot sending Dokdo back into that spawn. We do have this Dead Eye ready to go here from Banana Boy. Set up kind of on the low ground here, though, so you're really looking to just kind of control space with this ultimate. Oh, some really great shot coming into Lake, and that is such a good cleanup as well. Chobo capitalized on it. Nice little charged up punch there from the side of Cell, but we are not going to be able to have any kind of follow-up damage coming through here for Capybaras, and just running into a little bit of a wall right now as U of T do have this choke point just absolutely on lockdown here. We do have the Kitsune Rush from Dart online as well. Which ultimate they look to use first. Tomo with the overclock ready to go here for the side of Capybaras, but you need to kind of walk forward, take some space, and here is going to be the first ult of the fight. It's going to be a continuing rush out from Dart. Tomo is going to use this overclock. Oh, okay, the deflect is going to do a good little chunk of damage, but not going to end up taking himself out. Force out, but no kills coming through either way. Everybody on the side of UTES very, very low, though. We just need some clean up kills. Trades coming through. That is going to be the beat out from Emmerich. Connects on the 3. The Primal does come out. All the ultimates coming over the side of UTES. They want to close things out right here, right now. Overtime triggering. It is just Cell alive here for Capybaras on the point. And here's the blade from Tomo looking to slice this Doomfist up. Is going to manage to do so. The touch from Lake is not quite going to come through. And UTES JV is going to start out University with a 100-0 here on City Center. Good stuff from UTES. I mean, this is a team that had a fantastic showing last semester. It didn't end up making it all the way to the top of that playoffs, but I believe they went into the playoffs 4th seed in this open division, so definitely well practiced. And if they have any kind of time to practice with their varsity team, I mean, University of Toronto did win out last semester, coming 1st overall. So, definitely a very strong Overwatch teams coming out of University of Toronto. Alright, a little bit of a swap up here as we head into University. Capybaras is going to move over onto this Brig Juno composition. Otherwise, everything all the same. Big swap here for the side of Toronto as well. We're in a much more enclosed kind of area now. Don't have to worry about that high ground as much. So you're bringing out the Junker Queen. You're also going to bring out Banana Boy on this Widowmaker. Definitely not super common here on University, but hey, if you can make it work, finding those nice headshots, just one shot, one kill is a great way to win out fights quickly. But we've lost Lucio already here for Toronto. The objective now opening. Nice little control on the high ground here. Tomo does have Lake on this Perdita to help him out. No cap coming through on the point just yet, but Toronto does have a very nice aggression and gonna have a good presence as Stoked finds that headshot that he was looking for. That is going to be the flip going over to the side of Toronto. Looking to just clear off these remaining members of Capybaras from this high ground. Yep, a little bit of a late kill, but it's not too bad. You are going to get this, not quite the wave spawn. We are going to have a swap out here as Cell is going to move over from that Doomfist over onto the Junker Queen. So again, a nice little mirror. Now, if you have this Brig Juno comp of the Queen Rush, you need to be really kind of 3-2-1-ing with these speed rings. You need to see nice, clean engagements here. You need to get up close and personal to be able to get that inspired healing. And oh, what a knife from Cap. It's going to end up taking down his counterpart. Bluff does fall as well, and UTES JV is just plowing through SFU Capybaras. Big ultimate percentage on the board here for Toronto. We do have this Rampage. And, you know, you got the sights as well, the infra sights from the Widowmaker. It can control some space here. Banana Boy is going to pull that out right away. Rampage as well. Capybaras connects on to 3 members. Now, Dark does end up getting punished for it, but Kiriko, he's going to be able to teleport back fairly quickly. The Genji also has that mobility, but those 2 picks could be big here for Capybaras to open things up, try and make something happen. You have this overclock from Tomo ready to go. Just need a little bit of space to work with. Now is the time to walk. We have swapped over on to the Zarya for Capybaras. We use this bubble to just try and negate some of this damage that's coming through. It's going to be this overclock coming out. The Blade in response, and yeah, the Blade is going to win out from that overclock. You have Banana Boy taking out Dokdo as well as Cell, and 90% plus here, and Toronto still very much in control. Gonna throw in the beat as they touch the spawn. Emery Mage nearly died there, so manages to stay alive, 99%. And that is going to be it for Oasis. It is 200% to 0 here as University of Toronto starting off this placement match very strong.
Play of the game.
Caprixel on this Junker Queen, getting that play of the game. Wouldn't be surprised if this is that Rampage came through. No, it's actually just going to be some big clean kills here from the Junker Queen. Very nice. Okay. great start here for Toronto. SFU having kind of a hard time kind of finding and matching the tempo that U of T is really putting out. It felt like every time that SFU were just about ready to be set up to go in, it was U of T kind of going first in the fights, engaging, finding one of those opening picks, and just absolutely snowballing forward. So great stuff here for U of T, but SFU definitely do still have a little bit of room to work with. Again, this is a first of 3, it's a best of 5. So back isn't against the wall yet, SFU. And the good news for them now is that they are going to be in control of what map we go to. So option now, they can either take us to a hybrid map or they take us to an escort map. So they're going to get to pick the map type that we go to first, and then we'll get a ban come out from the side of U of T, and then we'll get the map pick come in. So to see what they are thinking here for our second map. Honestly, when it comes to hybrid versus escort, they're going to play very similarly. You know, hybrid, okay, you have that one little extra step of trying to cap up the point. But I do think that moving over on to this more the cart-based maps is going to be good here for SFU to try and change up the pace a little bit. U of T seems like they're very much in sync, wanting to go first in these fights and doing a good job kind of not letting fights get too scrappy. Honestly, most of those fights were cleaned up pretty quickly, which is really nice when you're playing on these control maps, and as we get to push into Flashpoint as well. For hybrid and escort, I think that if SFU are able to win a fight kind of convincingly, they're going to be able to get a lot more progress if they can just kind of stay on the cart or defend the cart. So definitely nice to kind of swap up the pace a little bit as we head into either map type. It really just kind of comes down to what this team is going to be more comfortable on, because you definitely do want to try and bounce back with a win. You don't want to have yourself go down 2-0 here and make it have to be a reverse sweep. That's a lot of pressure for the side of the SFU Capybaras, so give them a chance to think all that over. And again, CCL, all these maps are in the pool, so it really just comes down to the map bans that is going to be kind of the restraint, I guess, when it comes to our maps. All right. Yeah, so U of T definitely setting themselves up in a good spot. SFU, again, I know some of these players, and I know that they have experience in a team setting. I think that coming into CCL placements, maybe not necessarily expecting or knowing what to expect, because a lot of these collegiate teams aren't necessarily playing in kind of other Overwatch leagues that might cross over with each other. So I know that some of these players from SFU come from some grassroots leagues that, you know, sometimes collegiate teams really just focus on collegiate. So, you know, you just got to get a feel for it as we go. This is just the placements. We're just getting started out here in the season. The way that CCL works is that there are 2 divisions. We have the Premier Division and then we have the Open Division. So the Premier Division is going to be kind of those top teams: University of Saskatchewan, Calgary, University of Toronto varsity, definitely up there. But room for other teams as well, and I'm so excited to see how many new teams there are this semester in our Canadian Collegiate League. I believe we had 23 teams sign up here, which is fantastic showing. It seems like every semester this league just grows more and more. 3 Overwatch Inc. I mean, Toronto looks pretty darn strong. It's definitely gonna be a bit of an uphill battle here for SFU to come back into things. And yeah, like I said, Toronto, fantastic showing last semester. So definitely have set themselves up in the driver's seat for this match. All right, looks like we are going to be going over to Escort for our next map. Bands that came out here. Oh, okay. I fear these might be happening in a chat that I'm not aware of. But that's okay. It's all right. Let's see. Escort map. Where are we going? All right. Well, we are going to be going over to Dorado for our escort map. Which does mean, of course, that if we go to that map number 5, it is going to be a hybrid map. which sets you in the position of potentially having a draw on map 5. Like, surely this is gonna, maybe push it all the way to map 5. SFU can lock in for this one, I believe. All right. Just gonna see what our bans are here. We're getting ours in the lobby chat before the bans are in. All right, so it is going to be SFU banning out the Cassidy here on Dorado. Interesting. Looking to go in with a dive composition, I'm assuming. I mean, Dorado has so much high ground to kind of work with that if you want to go for a hard dive, you want to take out some of those counter dive options, take out that Cassidy. So in response, UTES not going to be able to ban out a DPS, gonna have to go for a support or a tank ban, and they are going to go ahead and ban out the Life Weaver. Maybe a little silly of a ban, maybe, but I mean, who knows? Maybe you were anticipating the Life Weaver's gonna come out. I'm not, but we will see if that equates to anything. All right, ready to head into Dorado here. I'm just gonna wait for the lobby code to set up here so I don't see a Junkrat Moira walking out of the attacking spawn. All right, let's head in. All right, so it is going to be SFU on the defense to start out here. And we'll, of course, have Toronto over on the attack. So yeah, with the cast ban coming out, I'm anticipating that we're going to see kind of a dive here. Maybe Doomfist. Okay, yeah, Cell is looking to go back over on to this Doomfist here. Tricky sometimes on the defense, for sure. But not impossible, And we do have this Brig Ana backline as well, so very stationary backline. I know that Lake has a fantastic Brigitte, so he's going to do a great job kind of protecting Blup over on this Ana. And then we are going to still have that same DPS here for us on Dorado, so going to be the Sojourn and the Tracer. Cool, Chobo thinking about the Vendetta. Was banned out last map, so wasn't able to play it. It's going to be the Brig Ana on the attack here for Toronto. Better update that score. There we go. Yeah, Brig Ana on the attack here is going to be Chobo on this Vendetta. I am not surprised at all. Gonna have to be really focused on these kind of whip shots from Lake to really try and knock this Vendetta out. You really don't want to let her get up close and personal. The dive in from Caprixel is going to be forced down to that low ground. Tomo finding that opening shot on to Chobo. The nice thing about this Vendetta is you gotta get up close. You can do a whole lot of damage, but if you're able to do that poke damage before she can get nice and close to you, you do have a pretty good shot taking her down. But take a little fight against Yo Banana Boy on the Widowmaker here. Oh, the grapple not quite gonna connect. Attempt there as it is going to be the dive back in here from Caprixel, and there's the damage coming through. Chobo is going to immediately get punished for that, but the dive in from Caprixel still keeping things in favor of Toronto here. And Renee taking down Lake as well, and yeah, it is going to be Toronto moving this cart forward. Trying to maybe get a late kill on to Dojo here, but that Tracer pretty darn slippery. SFU is looking to stage for a recontest here. A little bit of time to work with. Cell on the Doomfist. The Sleep Dart goes wide from Dart, but the nade does end up connecting. Contest coming through at the very last moment here. Recall forced out from Dojo. Cell is very low. It's a big anti-nade. Connects on to 2 here. Lake is going to be able to keep his team alive as Dojo, the headshot connects on the Tracer. Unfortunately, he is going to be sent back to spawn here. SFU are holding off by just a thread here. You really cannot afford to lose anybody to Yo Banana on this Widow. It is going to be Banana over onto the Brig. The Raid Boss immediately getting shut down by that anti-nade. Fantastic nades coming out here from Bluff. Pulse Bomb doesn't quite connect. Winston very low here. Lake is forced to use this rally just to try and survive through this Primal. He is getting knocked away from the payload a little bit here, but stay alive. No, Banana Boy on those Widow. They see once you're set up kind of on this high ground back here, it's so hard for SFU to put any pressure onto him because you need to stay on the card. Toto is going to end up falling. Meteor Strike on the point. Still this payload being contested. But with Cell falling, that is going to be the checkpoint picked up here. Little over 4 minutes to work with. As we do see University of Toronto pushing forward, trying to take this high ground. Sights have come out, and Tomo is gonna shut those sights down. Close your eyes, Widowmaker, go back to spawn. And this does mean that SFU is gonna be able to now get themselves set up on this high ground. You don't have that pressure from the Widow. Great spot to try and hold up here.
We can't let them.
The thing about having the Doom Fist is that you are kind of committing on these, you know, one-shots. You're not going to be able to get up to the high ground as quickly as Miss Winston. All right, Nano Overclock coming in. Tomo is going to fall. Dart trying to get out. Diana is going to be taken down by Blurb. She finds her counterpart there. Good little stabilization here as we do see SFU getting themselves set up on this high ground. We have Toto hiding. Has the Pulse Bomb ready to go. We do have the Sundering Blade from Chobo as well. I think especially where SFU are just kind of all set up on the high ground. Pulse Bomb in! Nope, not quite gonna connect there. But yeah, with SFU set up on this high ground, Chobo has an opportunity to go for a pretty big Sundering Blade. Here it is. Looking for it. Trying to find Blurp. Oh, so much damage, but Blurp hits the Sleep Dart. That's a punch coming in from Cell as well. Nice anti-nade from Dart, and the rally from Emre Main is going to make sure that Toronto has absolute control of this high ground. Disengage from SFU, but are not going to be able to get out alive as more progress here for Toronto. We are aware that Dokdo is back there. Banana Boy is looking for him, but Dokdo is not going to go ahead and peek his head out for that one. So, going up to the high ground. Nice little pinch here. Dokdo is ready to go. Oh, what a fantastic counter pin there from Emre Main is going to shut down that Doom Fist. And now, no tank here for the side of SFU. A whip shot on, trying to keep Banana Boy alive. It is going to be the Primal and the Nano here as poor Blurb is stuck in a tiny room. Does have Lake to try and back her up, but no, Lake is going to fall as well. Also does get punished in the end, but progress on the point here as we move into third point. It is going to be 3 minutes here for Toronto to work with. We have the sights, infra sights ready to go. Banana Boy going to go ahead and pop that early. SFU do have at least the rally to work with. Cell is going to be able to build up to this Meteor Strike and Blurb the Nano as well. Kind of survive through these infra strikes. So far, so good for the side of SFU to live through that one, but they're aware that the Widow is set up on the high ground. Tomo has taken this high ground away from the Widow, but Chobo, oh, nice shot from Tomo, but Chobo has taken out Dokdo, and Chobo is going to take out both DPS from the side of SFU. The Sleep Dart from Blurp goes wide, but Lake is there to back her up. Nano boost over onto Cell now, but gets hit with the Sleep. Is going to wake up. That tank not going to stay asleep for very long. Good job playing kind of passive here, trying to just take some this attention from the supports away from Caprixlin. That does force the Winston to back up here. Pulse Bomb connects! Dokdo finding 2 for 1 with that Pulse Bomb. Excellent stabilization here from SFU, but Toronto do have a whole lot of time to work with here. A little bit of clean up kills there as and a Venom Mine for your troubles. Rally and Overclock ready to go here for the side of SFU. Chobo coming back into this with a Sundering Blade, though. This ultimate so strong, so much more range, I think, maybe people are expecting. So you gotta be very, very cautious when the Sundering Blade gets pulled out. Do have the rally from Emre Main as well. All right, into the high ground. So much, just like that. Half health for Tomo. We have the Overclock coming out first here. Tomo is going to combo with Cell to find that kill onto Dart. Diana a little bit too far forward in that low ground. Is nice shot onto Banana Boy as well. And again, the follow-up here from Cell. Really fantastic job from this Doom Fist. Find these kills after all the damage and stuff from the DPS. Cell with a 3K there. Dokdo does end up falling, but it's going to be another kill here. A little 4K for Cell in that fight. And good job here from SFU to hold on. A minute on the clock for Toronto, and they are coming up to a whole lot of ultimates to work with. Still have this rally, still have this blade. You're gonna have all 5 on it by the time that you kind of really get into this fight here.
No one can hide from my
Sights to
sight.
start things out. Does force the slide out. Looking, ooh, doesn't quite find the headshot, but it's a good chunk of damage. Chobo has the centering blade. Gonna finish off that kill onto Tomo. The airstrike is out. Doesn't connect onto anything. Rallies out from both sides. Lake is the first to pull. Emre Main does have that ready to go as well. Sleep Dart connects on to Caprixel, but now he's got the nano to work with. He does have the primal to pull out if it's needed. The payload is very, very close to capping here. We are going to have just a little bit of a contest coming through. It's just Lake on the point. No, it's just Cell on the point. The Doomfist not going to be able to stay alive for very long. And 11 seconds left on the clock. And 5 ultimates is, I guess, all that Toronto needed. Put that one into that 3rd point. Yeah, really great job kind of getting Banana set up on this Widow, especially as we get into these kind of overtime fights where SFU is forced to fight on the payload. It's just so hard to turn any attention towards this Widowmaker. Even with Dokdo on that Tracer, you know, you're able to kind of go into the back line, yes, but you don't have any verticality here. So on that 3rd point, Banana Boy gets set up on that high ground. It's not just the damage that comes through, it's just the pressure of the Widowmaker, knowing that you have to walk in to his sight line. It's very scary here, so. Alright, the sets,
Ready for
a big precedent here for SFU on their attack. They are going to have to complete Dorado. You'd love to do it with a little bit of time. It's not, you know, it's not like a hybrid. We're not going to have a draw situation here, but you definitely want to have as much time as you can to work with. It's going to be hard, though. It's going to be hard to push this all the way through Dorado. A lot of high ground control on this map, and Toronto has shown a fantastic job understanding how to take and maintain control of that high ground. I think especially with this Vendetta, you know, she's got so much aggression on the attack, but if you dive into, I mean, she's got a big sword. You're gonna jump right into her every time you try and get up onto this high ground. No swaps here in terms of team composition for either team. Rolling out on this Doomfist for the attack here. Aware of the Widow. Chobo not going to give up this high ground for free. Tomo would love to get up here on the Sojourn, have a nice shot onto the supports, and allow you to kind of go in for the damage onto the dives of Cell. Counters! Oh no, all the CC hitting Cell. Emre, man, has been fantastic with these counter pins, and then the follow-up on the Sleep Dart. Yeah, that's a rough one. You get chased down by Chobo as well. This Vendetta has so much mobility. And speaking of this Vendetta, I mean, looking to take down the Tracer as well, but also just controlling this space. If this Vendetta is set up here, you're gonna have a very hard time kind of trying to take this 1v1 as Tracer. You gotta show a lot of respect for the giant sword. Jump up onto the high ground. Nice punch here from the side of Cell, but Banana Boy is gonna find the opening pick of this fight. Oh, nice headshot onto Dojo. Cell is doing their best to try and take control of red, but between the Vendetta and the Winston, you're just having a hard time. Oh, what a fantastic punish here from SFU. Caprixel doing what really Winston should do is just kind of drop down, try and get a little bit of damage, but immediately gets punished out here. And now with no tank, yeah, we can see it's the retreat here for Toronto. They really don't want to get staggered out here. You're going to have a great opportunity for another contest. And oh my gosh, taking out Dodo with that headshot, taking a lot of pressure up, but great punches coming through here. Cell has the meteor strike as well. Looking for this Ana. Does. Oh, the Sleep Dart goes wide here. Finds that kill, and these are the stagger kills that SFU are really, really counting on here for Toronto. That payload moving very close to this point, and yeah, we see that Toronto just going to hand that over. Payload, 4.5 minutes here, and wait, well, SFU have broken up the first point. Now they can take control of this high ground, but Caprixel and Chobo not gonna let that happen for free. Nice job forcing that Doomfist down from the high ground, buying enough time so that the rest of UFT can find their way up onto this high ground as well. The Nano ready to go here from Dark. Fluff also having this Nano ready to go. It's the Nano onto the Winston to start things out here. Ooh, Fluff, she was trying to get up onto that high ground, but Ana just a little bit too slow against the monkey with a Nano. And yeah, that's a pretty quick fight win here for Toronto.
No one can hide from my sight.
See just how much mobility this Vendetta has. It's really, really fun and terrifying. Sight's ready to go here. Online, actually, already. We do have the Primal for Caprixel as well, so he has the opportunity to get pretty aggressive here if he wants. Okay, actually has it forced out, though. Tomo slides out. The Sleep Dart does connect, but of course, you're not going to stay asleep for very long. So much damage. You are a very large target when you are a Primal Winston, and Caprixel pretty much just had to try and stay alive through that whole entire ultimate. As it is still going to be a really nice control here from U of T, though. SFU just have not been able to find their way onto this high ground. It's a rally on the point here for Emre Main, and he is looking to make sure his team can push in, but the punch from Cell is going to shut down Caprixel, and again, you find this opening pick onto the tank, and that is just full steam ahead here for the side of SFU. Tomo finding headshot after headshot. Gets himself set up on this high ground here, and now some progress being made. Ooh, wow, not quite making that slide over, but I like the idea of trying to take some angles here. Chobo does have this Sundering Blade ready to go. A lot online for the side of SFU, though. Blup. Oh, she is definitely going to be the target here, and Lake is not able to keep her alive through that, and Chobo just slicing apart this backline from the side of SFU. Now, Cell did manage to find that kill on to Caprixel here, and it's a lot of back and forth here. Tomo actually has his overclock out, and that might just be enough for SFU to actually slide this payload into second point, and it will, despite losing their backline first in that fight. It is going to be the second point cap here for the side of SFU. Really feeling the momentum building for them here. Cell, though, 63 HP. Yeah, you gotta remember your supports were the first to die in that fight, so they are not set up, they are not ready. We do have Banana Boy swapping over onto the Freya here for third point. I like this off of the Widowmaker. You still have that kind of one shot necessarily for a potential, and you have this potential to get onto the high ground. Nice anti-nade, nice nano as well. The sleep does connect, but it's not going to be enough to stop all this damage coming in from University of Toronto. Fantastic stabilization here for them on third point. Just had to use that nano. Dokdo lurking on this Tracer. Oh yeah, Tomo very aware. I don't know I'd want to take this fight if I was Dokdo, but actually doing a fantastic job staying alive. But, oh, you are absolutely pinched right now. Everybody aware of where you're at. It's a good job from Toronto to shut that down and find that kind of late kill here. You see them pushing forward, looking to maybe find another kill. You have the Primal available if you're Caprixel, so you don't mind getting a little bit aggressive here. Nano out over onto Cell. Everybody up on this high ground, though. And yeah, that's the problem with the Doomfist, is if you don't get up there the first time, you don't have a whole lot of opportunity to get up there again. Primal has been forced out here from Caprixel, but he's going to be able to make something happen with it, making so much space for his team. And he can juggle onto the Ana there, and yeah, it really is just about making the space. You don't need to commit to that. Restraint here as Toronto looking to hold. We're going to be under that 2-minute mark. Both DPS ults ready to go. Banana Boy, yeah, already has this Bola online. Excellent stuff from the Freya. Meteor Strike and this rally ready to go for Lake. Cell is looking to try and get up onto that high ground. Dokdo is ready for the pinch, but it's hard. You have this Freya, or this Vendetta right in your face. Oh, it's a sleep dart! Connects on! And Cell with the Meteor Strike on to the Vendetta. Fantastic sleep dart coming out from Blurp. Alright, Bola in. It forces out the rally from Lake. Not quite getting onto Cell, though, as it is going to have to drop off of that high ground. Oh, unfortunately for Dokdo, is going to fall to Dart. This auto break from the side of Toronto doing a great job holding the high ground, but you can't hold forever. As there we go. It is going to be another sleep dart here for Bluff, but team kill coming through here for SFU. Going to try to get themselves a little bit of cart progress here. We are going to have the rotation of Bluff up onto this high ground. This is exactly like I was talking about when we had the attack here from the side of Toronto. It's all about kind of getting control of this high ground, but they have the Winston. Caprixel is able to put pressure onto that high ground, deny that space. You have Tomo on the low ground with the rally. Does find Yo Banana Boy, who is over onto the Sojourn, but Boy is just kind of putting in damage, forcing some space here. The Nano out. Oh, Cell with a double melee kill onto the back line to the side of Toronto. And this payload is sliding very close to the end here. And oh my gosh, so close in these time banks. as we are gonna have 23 seconds on the board here for the side of SFU. We are heading into overtime rounds here. Not a whole lot of difference here. 123 to 1 minute. It's when you come into these overtime rounds, you really are kind of more so thinking about the ult cycling. So how much time do you have to get an ult cycle in? Can you get multiple ult cycles in? With a minute 23, it's pretty much one ult cycle. You're not really going to be able to get much more than that. So that's the name of the game here. Now, we are going to have Toronto on the attack first, just because they had that lower amount of time. No change in composition for the defense here, at least. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Potentially an Ashe here from Banana Boy. Maybe thinking about it. I definitely don't mind the Ashe. I think that the dynamites are fantastic. The Ashe, you have the coach gun is very helpful on these maps with the high ground. Not only for getting up onto the high ground yourself as Ashe, but also for controlling this high ground. Especially up, you know, against the Doomfist. You want to try and keep your distance from him. Same idea as the Vendetta, really. Yep, it is going to be Banana Boy at least walking out of spawn on the Ashe for now. Nice dynamite does connect on to start things out here. See that Toronto trying to get themselves set up on this high ground early. That's going to give you the space to kind of work with to push this payload forward. Up dive in onto Tomo. Break packs are there from Lake. Tomo not quite timing that necessarily how you'd like to, but you're getting hard progress all this while. Now it is going to be Cell dropping down, trying to put some contest on. That's the thing, Doomfist is not necessarily as good at finding that contest. Nice big chunk of damage onto Caprixel, but it is going to be Toronto that find first blood here. Banana Boy on that Ashe, finding the headshot. Nice punch, but it's not finding a kill yet. We do have a whole lot of damage done to Toronto, but if you're SFU, you need to follow up. You need to find some kills here. It is going to be the overtime trigger here, so it is going to be the pressure on to Toronto to stay on this payload. You cannot step off here, so we need to keep a look on these ultimates here because this could make all the difference. It's a dive in. Lake, oh, he's a little bit split off here, and it is going to be, oh, nice nade coming in from Bluff, but the Bash actually got kind of stuck on the Winston there, as no supports here for the side of SFU to work with, and a whole lot of damage ready to go for the Toronto team. This auto break still very healthy and safe on the point. Nice nade is going to anti the tank and keep the rig alive. The shot from Dark here, who has now built up to this nano support alt's going to be online very soon here for Toronto. Caprixel has swapped over to the Hazard as well. Banana Boy finding that kill on a Tracer. That's just going to lock in. Yep, first point is captured here. And of course, as this overtime triggers, these spawns are going to get longer and longer. Bob ready to go here for Banana Boy, taking control of this high ground. Would love to honestly just throw that up onto the high ground. Good control from Cell here. You need to be aware that this Bob on the high ground is going to control so much space. Nano on to the Winston, tries to catch out Tomo. The dynamite is massive. Tomo does end up taking an anti-nade, but able to find two amidst all of that. Very good value for this Vendetta. The pulse bomb connects in. Toto again finds two, and that's gonna take out the two members that were on the point here for the side of Toronto. All right, that is it. Clear win condition here for SFU. Okay.
Initiating
and also clear win condition for the side of Toronto, I should say as well. It's a minute. That's a pretty good push for 1 minute on the clock. Yeah, Toronto shouldn't feel too bad about that, especially on their first defense. They had a pretty good hold on this first point. I think that running this Winston on the first point defense of Toronto, you have a little bit of an advantage against that Doomfist, and just that you're able to drop down, contest the cart, and get out much, much easier, especially having that bubble, eating up some of that damage. The Doomfist is fantastic for kind of getting the damage in, finding the picks, but as far as like having point presence, it's not really what his kit is built around. But on the attack, I mean, if you can find your way onto the high ground for SFU, That's really what you kind of need for this.
It is going to be Banana Boy kind of sticking on the Ashe here for the defense. I really like this. Exactly like I said, it's about kind of controlling this high ground.
How's it going? Hey.
And taking the duels against Tomo,
Although that being said, actually, Banana Boy is finding Dokdo in the majority of these fights, but the Ashe versus the Sojourn matchup can be really good if you can get the better of the Sojourn before they can build up to that railgun. Alright, same composition here for SFU. Looking to displace Caprixel on this high ground, but yeah, good respect shown here because as soon as you get onto that high ground, you are just a sitting duck here for all the damage to come in from that Ashe. Onto the high ground, it is going to be Dokdo looking to get a bit of an angle here. Gotta be careful though, the Tracer into the Brigitte is a tailless all the time, and it does not usually go that well for the Tracer. Oh, Caprixel falling very low! Manages to get out with just a sliver of HP. Cell is looking to follow up on that. No, he's not going to be able to find it, but we do have a pinch getting ready here between Dokdo and Cell. But all the meanwhile, as you're trying to get set up for this, it is going to be Toronto finding their way in here. Caprixel with 2k to start things out here. Banana Boy does end up falling late. He's trying to stay alive, but it's a 2v1. He isn't going to make that happen. 15 seconds on the clock here. We do have Yo Banana Boy still walking back from the spawn here. Have Nanos, both are going to be kind of some of the first ults online for these Team Tomo, building up to this railgun, this overclock as well. Here we go, overtime in pretty much the same spot where overtime was triggered on Toronto's attack here. Railgun ready to go. Widowmaker actually swapped over here for the side of Banana Boy, and this could be really big for the side of Toronto. Not a lot of pressure on this Widow. Overclock to start things out here, but excellent pressure being put in from Caprixel, who does nearly have that Primal Rage ready to go. Nano over on to Caprixel, and it is not looking good here for the side of SFU. Nice sleep, but is going to be immediately woken up. And it's going to be the Nano over onto Lake, but oh, SFU steps off the cart just for a second. And that is going to be Toronto picking up Dorado, setting themselves at a match point here in our placement series. Yeah, Janet. Good showing from the side of SFU to try and come back into that, but not quite able to get as far of a push there, so that is going to be, I feel a little bit bad about that one, but you gotta feel, you know, decent that you're waking up here. Definitely felt like SFU were doing a much better job kind of taking the fight to U of T, doing a good job also kind of punishing U of T when some of these members were finding themselves a little bit out of position. Caprixel sometimes going in before the rest of his team was necessarily ready. And I think that SFU kind of recognizing that and burning down the tank fairly quickly, really well done. But I mean, Chobo and Yo Banana Boy, the DPS here for U of T, opening these fights with picks almost every time. It feels like SFU are down Dokdo or Tomo kind of, you know, every other fight. So far, Toronto definitely still feel like they're in control of the series here, but potentially a reverse sweep incoming if you're SFU. It is a big ask, but if you want to find your first win of the winter semester here for CCL, that's exactly what you're going to have to do. Big ask here as... Alright, well, we do know what mode we are going to for the third one. This is a set map order that we're following now, so it's going to be push as our next map. So there is going to be U of T banning out our first push map. Of course, CCL, it is our map pool is every map. All of the maps in the map pool that are in competitive play, I should add. So Antarctic Peninsula is not available for play here. Allegedly, that's getting a rework, but all of our push maps are in play. So we are going to have one ban come out. It is going to be New Queen Street banned out here for Emre Main, sorry, Emre Main. Which, okay, you know what? New Queen Street's not my favorite push map. I can't lie to you. I think the New Queen Street is probably my least favorite push map of all of them, which, terribly tragic, you know, Canadian Collegiate League here, and we're banning out the one Canadian map. So sad. But
That does leave kind of the classics. Runasapi, although it's the newest push map, definitely a favorite for many, many teams. Esperanza and Coliseo, of course, all these push maps do play very similarly style-wise. These scrappy, if you can kind of pull out these scrappy fights, get some, like, stagger kills, that's where you're really going to be able to kind of start snowballing and really get momentum going on push. But taking a look at the three push options that we do have, Esperanza, of course, he's going to have a little bit more of that high ground to control, so a little bit more potential to kind of play these dive compositions, sell potentially over onto the Doomfist. Possible. Calfrin, if I ever did that in a fish, I would flame them so hard. The raid boss, I mean, it's scary, but it's so hard, right? Overtime, you, like, it was triggered. As soon as it goes, it's just, as soon as you step off the point, that's it. Game over. Unfortunate. But yeah, Runasapi, you don't have as much of this high ground to control. It's much more kind of these long sight lines. And Coliseo as well, kind of longer sight lines. We do see a bit more of a kind of a rush composition, I find, showing up on Coliseo compared to some of these other push maps. Esperanza is going to be our selection here for map number 3, potentially our final map of the series. All right, this is it. SFU. Gonna start the reverse sweep right here, right now. And going over to Esperanza, I mean, this is, like I said, this is one of the ones that's gonna have more high ground control. This is, if you're gonna play, like, some dive, if you want to play the Doomfist, this is where you're gonna try and play it. Although, we actually, I think we might actually have kind of a role swap here. It looks like Cell is going to maybe move over onto the DPS and Dokdo over onto the tank. If I'm reading this right. It wasn't written, but I'm seeing some swaps in the order here in the lobby, so maybe. Alright, we are gonna have the hero bans come out, of course. So, what do we got here? First ban is for SFU, and they're gonna ban out the Winston here. I mean, that gave us some problems for sure, or gave SFU some problems for sure on Dorado there. So banning out the Winston, and then in response, ooh, okay, interesting. We're actually gonna have U of T ban out the Tracer here. So we have seen the Tracer out from Dokdo pretty much every map, I think. Yeah, both maps, both sub maps as well. But like I just said, I think that we might have a role swap happening here. As Cell is maybe over on the DPS, so Dokdo actually might not even be in for DPS. Okay, interesting. All right. Well, bans are ready to go. Esperanza, map number 3, potentially the last in the series. If Toronto are able to clean things up right now, and I mean, they have been looking so good through both of the maps we've seen so far, and as we head back into push, this definitely is going to have more of a familiar style to the control map, which I'll just remind everyone, maybe you didn't get to see it, maybe you've just tuned in, but Toronto took that Oasis map 200% to 0, so I think that they're feeling pretty darn confident about this style of map, where you have this kind of symmetry and a little bit of push and pull. Alright. Yeah, it does look like Dokdo over on that tank. Okay, what are we gonna get to see out from both teams here? Because, I mean, now that we don't have Cell on the tank, I'm expecting it's gonna not be a Doomfist. I'm anticipating no Doomfist comp here for the side of SFU. Capybaras. Ooh, okay. I mean, obviously the doors haven't opened yet, so there's still a chance for some changes to be made, but we might get some Vendetta out from SFU, and Dokdo looking to play that Zarya. I mean, is this a read from Toronto? Yo, Banana on the Bastion here. The Bastion, of course, really good at melting Zaryas. And we have Chomo on the Sim. No! no! It's the Sebastian comp. Oh my goodness. This is high damage, and I was praising Toronto for how fast they've been in these fights, usually going first in all of those Oasis fights. So this is a composition where if you can get the upper hand, you're going to be able to absolutely melt people down. All right, it's a TP in with this Bastion form. Do end up getting a lot of damage on Tadoko on that Zarya, but not really able to finish them off just yet. Yeah, he is actually going to be able to live through that, but now it is going to be Toronto in control of this bridge. Do end up getting a trade out here. Cell taking down Banana Boy before falling themselves. The bot has started moving, actually in favor of SFU here, but the fight definitely looking like it, was going the way of Toronto, but now Toronto kind of stuck out on an island here. Chobo, the Sim TP, is going to be able to get him and Dart at least out towards this side angle, but some progress being made here on the bot, and now Toronto is actually a little bit split. They're going to have to take a little bit of time to kind of get organized here to go in for the recontest. Tomo on this Soldier 76. Dokdo is very, very low. You just have these Lucio heals from Lake here. Bastion form is out. You're looking to absolutely melt this Zarya, but okay, Dokdo very hard to charge. Actually does end up falling though. Trade coming out here, and not having your tank in this fight is going to be very, very hard for SFU. Toronto is going to go ahead and take control of this bot. Tomo doing a really good job on this Soldier, just kind of staying on an angle. The damage is coming in from all sides onto Toronto, but you have to be careful because you are kind of in enemy territory right now, as reinforcements are going to begin to arrive for Toronto. All right, Toronto pushing this bot forward. Kitsune Rush ready to go already here for Dart. The first ult online in this map. Doko does have this grab ready to go. The beat from Emery may not quite online just yet. Cell is going to get punished. That's the tough thing about going into a Zarya as this Vendetta. That beam is just going to absolutely cut through you. Bot still pushing forward here. Toronto looking to take the lead. And oh, what an aggressive engagement here. Banana Boy going to be able to find Dokdo, and yeah, that's just fight over here for SFU. The lead has been gained here from Toronto, and no ultimates used to do it. Cell is going to swap over on to the Venture. Tomo taking down Chobo before he's able to kind of get that TP in, but you got to keep running. Banana Boy is going to end up punishing that Soldier. Little pick there, and the forward spawns going to be activated here for University of Toronto. Doko looking to get this grab in. The Kitsune Rush and this form. Nice beat ready to go here from Emre Main. It is going to be a beat in response from Lake. So many ultimates being thrown in here. The first kill is going to go the way of Toronto. Banana Boy quickly picking up the second as well. And looking to push forward, make some more space here. And now momentum really building here for Toronto. Not quite gonna find anything with that Meteor Strike. Do you have the visor ready to go here? Hard to kind of find the space to work with though. University of Toronto's doing a great job kind of controlling multiple angles here. This Halo's still walking forward. All right, it is gonna be the tac visor out. The TP just in time here for Chobo to kind of find his way away from this, and Noah Lim's actually coming through for that tac visor here as Toronto continues to move forward. Dokdo does find the kill onto Banana Boy to try and stabilize things out here, but Chobo finding that kill onto Lake. It's a lot of back and forth here, and Toronto are still in control of this payload. This MTP, you cannot escape Chobo. It doesn't matter if you go underground. He will find his way into the sky, into the ground, all charged up on the sim. Great move in from Emre Main as well. Okay, wait, the bot has been stolen? Tomo has actually denied the forward spawns for the side of University of Toronto here. I do not know how I missed that, and I think Toronto's probably wondering how did they miss that as well. We do have this tectonic shock ready to go. Toronto back in control of this, but once again, they do have the Kitsune Rush ready to go. Cell pushing in, looking to find something. Tomo does fall early here. You really want to get a trade out. You're going to take control of this high ground, trying to find something. Cell has his eyes on Banana Boy, and they are going to be able to get that kill. TP forced out here, but Toronto's still very much in control of this. Banana Boy does end up falling, but the bot still very much on Toronto's side for now. Actually, a lot of back and forth happening here. Toronto falling quite low. Ooh, not quite going to get there in time to keep the Kiriko alive. He is ready to go, but no, Emraymain is going to fall. There are no supports alive on the side of University of Toronto.
My ultimate is ready.
Enemy forward spawn.
All right, forward spawn has been taken away from Toronto there. Kitsune Rush is ready to go for both sides, but Toronto very much has the ult advantage here, and you're gonna start out with this artillery strike. Quite gonna find anything, maybe making a little bit of space here. Crystal does have the grab ready to go. Kitsune Rush out on the left. Ooh, it is gonna be the grab to kind of lock them up, but Toronto is still very much in the Kitsune Rush, and you have the beat from Emraymain that connects on to everybody. Sim wall for good measure as well. Crystal does fall very low, but has that grab ready to go. Is gonna end up popping that and follow through. Almost there. You take out Dokdo. Cell does end up getting a trade out here, but you do not have any support or any tank now if you are SFU, so he's not gonna be winning that one out. Tomo just running for his life. The soldier is going to be able to get out alive at least, as some ultimates coming up online here. Tomo, just keep running, just keep running. The soldier just kind of permanently in the back line here. Have to be careful. I do wonder if he's going to end up running into one of these late spawns. No, okay. It was expensive there for Toronto. As you can see, they are just kind of backing up here. Got that forward spawn. Looking to get some space. Take a fight in a more comfortable area for them. Tomo on the flank. Here's the visor that he was looking for. Ooh, Emraymain trying to pressure out that soldier. Not quite going to work, though. He's going to end up paying for his life. Kill comes through onto Yo Banana Boy as well. And all right, this time the flanking soldier did end up paying off here for the side of SFU. Okay, yep, you don't want to go into that room. Caprixel is pretty darn charged up here on this Zarya. All right, SFU finally getting a little bit of progress here on this bot, but Toronto does not want them to have this for free. Tomo is going to shut down Dart, though, send that Kiriko back to the spawn, so you are starting up one here in the fight if you are SFU. Beat in from Lake. Next on to 3, they're looking to get aggressive. They just do not care about this Bastion form whatsoever. And that is going to be a Cell finding that kill onto the Bastion. Both DPS now out of the fight here for Toronto, and that is going to be checkpoint collected here for the side of SFU. Artillery strike out. I think this is actually coming from spawn here. I do wonder if Banana Boy is going to go for a swap, mayhaps. Oh, okay, over on to the Widowmaker here. Now this time we have Cell, the Venture, looking for a little bit of a flank. Does have this Tectonic Shock ready to go, looking for this Symmetra. Tomo very low, but manages to get inside the restaurant just in time. Caprixel, though, he's going to end up falling, and no tank here. An opportunity, maybe, for SFU to push forward, although you don't have your speed, so you won't be doing it quickly. Tomo taken down as well, Banana Boy onto this Widow. Maybe catching SFU a little bit by surprise here. Oh, there's the headshot from Bluff. She is going to take down that Widow. The points being contested, though. Kitsune Rush needs to be committed. Actually, from both teams, it is going to be beat out from Emraymain as well. Connect on the 4 members. Banana Boy in the spawn. Does connect over, swap over to the Cassidy. Fantastic Graviton Surge here from Caprixel. That is going to be Toronto back over in control of this plot. That SFU, though, everybody got the wave spawn. Everybody is going to get that forward spawn, so you have an opportunity to take an early fight here. Pathing through the Mega on the left side. Tomo very low, and Banana Boy is going to shut that soldier down. You pay a little bit for being out on that angle, but it is quite a deep rotation here from the side of SFU, but that is nowhere near it. The TP! Oh, not the Kiriko TP, but the Sim TP to get Dart out of that grab. And I mean, the payload is very, very far away from SFU right now. They need to start walking towards this. Try and find some kills along the way. Dokdo is going to be able to do just that. 30 seconds on the board here. Emraymain going to fall as well. A long walk back here for SFU. Love to maybe get a late spawn. You can see Cell trying to do just that onto Dart. Kiriko is going to end up falling here. Overtime is going to be triggering very, very soon. Dart going to get that forward spawn. Yes. Yes, he is. All right, overtime triggered. SFU need to stay on the point, and you're down one already. Excellent shot there from Banana Boy. And this photon barrier is really shutting things down. Tomo, I mean, oh my goodness, Banana Boy with a 3K here. It is all falling apart for SFU. Overtime trickling down, and that is going to be University of Toronto taking our series 3-0 here. A fantastic finish over on Esperanza. Unfortunately, a 3-0 Overwatch, but a pretty darn fun one, I think, to watch. It felt like as the maps went on, they just got closer and closer here. Caprixel with this play of the game. Yeah, that's a massive grab if I've ever seen one. Really fantastic job. Thanks so much for the follow. All right, well, this was it. So this was our last placement match of this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also, big thank you to SFU, Capybaras, and University of Toronto JV for allowing me to stream this. Because this is their option. I need to get permission from the teams to do this this co-streaming, so I'm super excited that both these teams were okay with me casting them, and thank you also to the teams for providing some of the information so that I could fill out their graphic scene and all that fun stuff. But once again, congratulations to Toronto. Yeah, I mean, they look fantastic. They looked great last semester. Definitely exciting to see them come out swinging in this next semester. Very strong team for sure, but fun to see Capybaras play. I'm so glad that SFU have entered not one, but two teams into this winter semester of Canadian Collegiate League. So awesome job to both teams. That is going to do it for us tonight. Next week, we are going to have the official CCL broadcast starting up. So those default matches are going to be on Wednesdays. So check out the CCL_live on Twitch on Wednesday to see the official broadcast. And I'm going to keep an eye out if there are any matches that do get rescheduled. We will reach out to those teams and see about getting some co-streams in. Once again, I'm super excited about this semester of Canadian Collegiate League. I hope that you all are too. Once again, thank you for coming out and supporting Canadian Collegiate. And have a great night, and we will see you next week.